Eric Darling here with Darling Data, and in today's video, we're going to talk about automatic tuning in SQL Server. And the reason why is because I've had a couple people tell me that my friend Brent ran into some trouble trying to get this feature to work, and I want to make sure that we can alleviate Brent of his worries and sorrows. So Brent released a video about not being able to get this thing to work, and it says, I struggle with automatic tuning, Jessica. Well, that's worrisome enough, isn't it? It's terrifying enough on its own. But then I posted a video about cardinality estimation feedback, and Flagstar 7 days ago said, this reminds me of Brent's recent video with him being unable to get automatic tuning to work. I have no idea what he was doing wrong. Okay, fair enough. And then I opened an issue on my GitHub repo for SP Quickie Store, and I've thought that maybe, I don't really do anything with this dynamic management view, but I thought maybe it might make a good addition to Quickie Store. Maybe we get some additional query feedback stuff on it. And Reese Goding said, does sys.dmdb tuning recommendations even work? Brent recently tried his best to get anything out of it. As I recall, he failed. Oh gosh, this sounds like real trouble. This sounds like a job for Darling Date. So let's come over to SSMS, and I've cleared out Query Store here because I don't want anything interfering. And I've set compat level to 150 because the parameter sensitive plan optimization makes stuff in getting this demo to work really confusing. You don't want to be in compat level 160 for this. And I've got this query over here that Microsoft provided. As you can see, it returns no rows currently, which is apparently Brent's experience as well. But don't worry, we will get rows. We will get at least one row out of this, I promise. Now, I've already got this index created, so everything is good here. Right? Get that index, and we've got a store procedure here that will get the total sum of scores based on a parent ID and a post type ID out of the post table. No, it's not much to look at, but it'll get us where we're going. It's just enough to make this whole thing work. Now, let me show you why this feature will kick in for this procedure. If we run these two executions of the procedure back to back, the first one returns a result almost instantly, which is great. Everyone wants instant results. Isn't that nice? Right? And the second one takes a little bit longer. Right? So here's the first one. It takes exactly 1 millisecond. There, that's pretty good. And this one down here, this takes 8 seconds. That's not so good. That sounds like parameter sniffing to me. Could be a big problem, couldn't it? All right, so let's make sure that we have a reasonable baseline sitting around in our database here, right? For SQL Server to work with. The idea here is to have enough of a baseline in Query Store for it to be able to do something. Now, I'm going to kick this one off to execute, and this is going to take around about 45 seconds to a minute. And while this thing executes and does its thing, let's come over here and let's look at this wonderful free script that I got from Microsoft's page on the sys.dmdb tuning recommendations dynamic management view, where we got all this stuff. We got a JSON value, and we've got some ifing in here. That's quite nice. And then down in here, we select from the, that didn't frame up too nicely. We've got to select from the DMV, and we've got to cross-apply to some open JSON stuff. Why? I don't know. Some real big wrinkly brain over there thought, I have an idea. JSON's new. Let's cram a bunch of crap into JSON. Let's make it as hard as possible for people to get reasonable information out of this. All right, yeah, great idea. Why don't you just use some more XML? Why don't you just follow query plans and extended events and the block process report and the deadlock XML report, so I could at least reuse some of my XML knowledge here. No, just jam it all in JSON. I'm sure it was 3 nanoseconds faster to do that. So anyway, of course, this thing runs and it finishes. Look at that, 44.8 seconds. I was almost right about 45 seconds. Now, with just those two things having run, we still don't have a row in here. And we don't have a row in here because we still only have one plan. We've got nothing for SQL Server to compare it to. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to hit SP recompile here. And then we're going to run these two store procedures back to back. All right, and this time, do they both run faster? Yeah, Sort of. I mean, the one that was really slow before runs a lot faster. We went from 8 seconds down to 650 milliseconds about. But the one that ran really quick before in like 1 millisecond now takes 600 milliseconds. Okay, fair enough. Let's to not interfere with query store or the plan cache or anything. Let's hit SP recompile there. And now I'm just going to run this one 30 times for the one that was kind of slow before. This is going to do This is going to do more work a little bit more quickly than the last time around. It's not going to take 45 seconds this time. Excuse me, because we're using that clustered index scan plan, this should finish up in around about 20 or so seconds. Oh, 13 seconds. Well, you know what? I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver than anything else. But now with 30 executions of that around, when we run this, magically we have a row. Don't worry, Brenty. I got you. So what is this telling us? Well, average CPU time changed from 56 milliseconds to 7.689 seconds, right? 7,600 milliseconds. And if we scroll all the way over here, we'll have some advice from this DMV. And it will be that, oops, I messed that whole thing up. There we go. Let's slide that back. That we should force for query ID 10, plan ID 9. Okay, well, here's query ID 10. The regressed plan ID is 11. The recommended plan ID is 9. Okay, well, let's see. Let's take query ID 10 right here. Let's copy that. And let's use my free, amazing, immaculate store procedure. Oh, that didn't, what the hell? Oh, it must have copied the, must have copied the column name. I forgot that that's a default thing you can set. So let's look for query ID 10. That is the right one, isn't it? Query ID number 10, let's just double check and make sure. Query ID 10, wonderful. We're going to run that. And now let's refresh our mind of what SQL Server was telling us. The regressed plan ID is 11, so let's go look at the regressed plan ID, right? That's going to be plan ID number 11 right here. And this is the clustered index scan. Okay. Now the good plan ID, it says, is 9, right? That's this one, the one that says we should force right here. If we come over here and we look for plan ID 9, that is the clustered index seek with the key lookup. Now, would you want to force this plan? It's a good question, because for one set of parameters, that's a pretty good plan to force. For another set of parameters, that's a pretty bad plan to force. So, should you follow this advice? Probably not. Probably not a great idea. Now, I will grant SQL Server a little bit of grace here, that in the query plan that it says was regressed, there is a missing index request that would probably help things out here. But it doesn't tell you to create the index. It tells you to force the plan, and I don't really know that I love that so much. So, what should you do here? Well, what I would recommend is maybe not listening to the advice of the tuning recommendations query, because if you force that plan for that query, you will have some that are very quick and some that are very slow. What I would probably recommend you doing is tuning that query. Maybe that missing index request would have been the thing to do it. But I think what's generally valuable about this view is not necessarily the advice that it gives you about which plan to force, but really that queries are ending up in there with some discrepancy, with some obvious signs of regression that you might want to address, right? So this is sort of a typical parameter sniffing scenario where something about the query plans that it generates for one set of parameters and another just don't get along so well. So what I would recommend you looking at the two different query plans, figuring out what's different about them, figuring out what you can fix in order to make that plan as shareable, as simpatico as possible across as many different parameter variations as you can think of, and then going from there. So, as usual, Microsoft wanted to do something like AI, ML, really, a self-tuning database that we've been reading about since 2000 nonsense. Doesn't quite deliver. But we got kind of a cool new DMV that can help us find queries that could use our help. We still need to do the helping. And I'm sure that there actually might even be cases where forcing a query plan would actually do you some good. It might happen. It just didn't happen for me here. So it does work. And I hope that Brent can sleep well now. I hope that we can all just move on from this tragic chain of events in the SQL Server community. I hope that we can begin to heal and process the devastation that has befallen us. That Brent couldn't figure it out. Well, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you learned something. And I hope that you'll watch other videos of mine, because who knows what else I'll figure out. All right, goodbye.